Srimad Bhagavat Gita,
The Holy Song of God.
Dvitiyodhyayah, Sanghyayoga.
Chapter 2. Yoga of Knowledge.
Sanjaya uvacha tam tatha kripayavistam ashupurnakulekshanam visidandamidam vakyam uvacha madhusudanaha.
Sanjaya said, to him who was thus overwhelmed with pity and sorrow and whose eyes were dimmed with tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke these words.
Sri Bhagavan uvacha utastva kasmalamidam vishame samupasthidam anaryajusthamaswargyam akirtigaram Arjuna.
O Arjuna, at this moment of crisis, wherefrom have you got this weakness, un-Aryan-like, disgraceful and which is not conducive to the attainment of heaven?
Klaibyam masmagama partha naitatvayupapadyate shudram hridaya daurbalyam yakotistha parantapa.
O Partha, son of Pritha, Kanthai, yield not to unmanliness. It does not befit you. Cast off this petty faint-heartedness and arise, O Paranthapa, scorcher of foes, Arjuna.
Arjuna uvacha katham bhishmamaham sanghye dronam cha madhusudana ishubhi pradiyolsyami pujartha varisudana.
Arjuna said, but O Madhusudana, how can I strike Bhishma and Drona with arrows in this battle, for they are worthy of worship, O Arisudana, destroyer of enemies, Krishna?
Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhaikshyamapi haloke attvartha kamamstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan.
It is better to live in this world by begging than to slay these honored teachers. By slaying them I would enjoy in this world pleasures which are stained with blood.
Na chaitadvitmak kadaranno gariyo yedva jayema yedivano jayeyuhu yane vahatva na jijivisamaha devastita pramukhe dhartarashtraha.
I can hardly tell which will be better, to fight or not to fight, that we should conquer them or they should conquer us. The very sons of Dhritarashtra after slaying whom we do not even wish to live stand facing us.
Karpanya doshopahada swabhavaha pritchami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yat shreyasyan nishchidam bruhi tanme sishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam.
With my nature stricken with weakness of sentimental pity and my mind bewildered about my duty, I request you to tell me for certain what is good for me. I am your disciple. Please teach me. I am seeking refuge in you.
Nahi pravasyami mamapanudyat yat chodamuchoshanam indriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnamrutham Rajyam suranam apichadhipatyam.
For, even after obtaining an undisputed sovereignty and an affluent kingdom on this earth and lordship over the gods, I do not see any means of driving away this grief which is drying up my senses.
Sanjaya uvacha eva muktva rishikesham gudakesha parantapaha nayolsya idi govindam uttva tushnim babhuvaha.
Sanjaya said, having thus spoken to Hrishikesa, Krishna, Arjuna the destroyer of foes, Parantapa, said to Govinda, Krishna, I will not fight, and became silent.
Tamuvacha Hrishikesha prahasanniva bharata सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमितं वचः.
O descendant of Bharata, Dhritarashtra, then Krishna, as if smiling, spoke these words to him, Arjuna, thus depressed in the midst of the two armies.
श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वम् प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गदासून गदासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः.
Sri Bhagavan said, You grieve for those who are not to be grieved for, and yet you speak words of wisdom. The learned do not grieve for the departed and those who have not departed.
न त्वेवाहं जातुनासं न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्.
It is not that I did not exist before, nor you nor these kings. Nor is it that we shall cease to exist in future.
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यते.
Just as in this body the embodied self passes into childhood, youth and old age, so also does he pass into another body. Calm man does not grieve at it.
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदा आगमापायिनो नित्या तांस्ति दिक्षस्व भारत.
The contact of the senses with objects, O son of Kanthai, which cause heat and cold, pleasure and pain have a beginning and an end, they are impermanent, endure them bravely, O descendant of Bharata, Arjuna.
यं हि न व्यधयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभ समदुःखसुखं धीरं सोऽमृतत्वाय कल्पते.
That calm man who remains unchanged in pain and pleasure, whom these cannot disturb, alone is able, O greatest amongst men, to attain immortality.
नासतो विद्यते भावो नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्ध स्तनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः.
The unreal has no existence. The real never ceases to be, never ceases to exist. Men possessed of the knowledge of the truth fully know both these.
अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति.
Know that to be indestructible, by whom all this is pervaded. None can cause the destruction of that, the imperishable.
अन्तवन्त इमे देहा नित्यस्योक्ता शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत.
Only the bodies, of which this eternal, imperishable, and incomprehensible self is the indweller, are said to have an end. Therefore, O descendant of Bharata, Arjuna, fight.
ययेनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतो नायं हन्ति न हन्यते.
He who looks on the self to be the slayer and he who looks on the self as the slain, neither of them apprehends correctly. The self neither slays nor is slain.
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
He is never born nor does he ever die. After having been, he again does not cease to be. Unborn, eternal, changeless and ancient. He is not killed when the body is killed.
वेदा विनाशिनं नित्यं ययेनमजमव्ययं कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कं घातयति हन्तिकम्.
Whosoever knows him to be indestructible, eternal, unborn and immutable, how can that man slay, O Arjuna? or cause another to slay.
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
Just as a man casts off his worn-out clothes and puts on new ones, so also the embodied self casts off its worn-out bodies and enters that anew.
नैनं चिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोषयति मारुतः.
Weapons cannot cut it, nor can fire burn it, water cannot wet it, nor can wine dry it.
अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्यसर्वगतस्थाणुर् अचलोऽयम् सनातनः.
This self cannot be cut, burnt, wetted, or dried up. It is eternal, all-pervading, stable, ancient and immovable.
अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि.
The self is unmanifest, unthinkable and unchangeable. Therefore, knowing it to be as such, you should not grieve.
अथच्चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि.
But even if you think of it as being perpetually born and perpetually dying, even then, O mighty armed Arjuna, you should not grieve.
जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि.
Death is sure to happen to that which is born. Birth is sure to happen to that which dies. Birth and death are certainly unavoidable. Therefore you should not grieve over an inevitable occurrence.
अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना.
Beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their middle state and unmanifest again in their end. O Arjuna, what is there to grieve about?
आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवद् वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित्.
Some look on the self as a wonder, some speak of it as a wonder, some hear of it as a wonder, still others, though hearing, do not understand it at all.
देहि नित्यमवध्योऽयम् देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि.
This self, the indweller in the body of everyone, is always indestructible. O Arjuna, therefore you should not grieve for any creature.
स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्यार्थिक्युत्थात् श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते.
Further, having regard to your duty, your own dharma, you should not waver, for there is nothing higher for a kshatriya than a righteous war.
यदृच्छया चोपपन्नम् स्वर्गद्वारमवावृतम् सुखिनः क्षत्रिया पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्.
Happy are the kshatriyas who are called upon to fight in such a battle that comes of itself, unsought as an open door to heaven. O Arjuna,
अथच्चेत्त्वमिवम् धर्म्यम् सङ्ग्रामम् न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मम् कीर्तिम् च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि.
but if you will not fight in this lawful battle, then, having abandoned your own dharma and honor, you shall incur sin.
अकीर्तिम् चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते व्ययाम् सम्भावितस्य चाकीर्ति मरणादतिरिच्यते.
People too will recount forever your infamy. To a man who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death.
भयाद्गणादुपरतम् मस्यन्ते त्वाम् महारथाः येषाम् च त्वम् बहुमतो भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम्.
The great chariot warriors, such as Bhishma, Drona, Kripa etc., will think that you have withdrawn from the battle through fear, and you will be ridiculed by them who held you in much esteem.
अवाच्यवादांश्च बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दस्तव सामर्थ्यम् ततो दुःखतरम् नु किम्.
Your enemies also, finding fault with your abilities, will speak many a word that should not be uttered. What could be more painful than this?
हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गम् जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महिम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः.
If you are killed in the battle, you will go to heaven. If you win, you will enjoy the earth. Therefore arise, O son of Kanthai, resolved to fight.
सुख दुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवम् पापमाप्स्यसि.
Treating alike pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat, engage in battle for the sake of the battle, thus you shall not incur sin.
येषा ते विहिता साङ्ख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे तु माम् शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्मबन्धम् प्रहास्यसि.
What has been declared to you so far is the wisdom of Sankhya. Now listen to the wisdom of yoga, armed with which, O son of Pritha, you will break through the bonds of karma.
नेहा विक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्.
In this no effort is ever lost and no harm is ever done. Even very little of this discipline, Dharma, saves a man from the great fear.
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिर् एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखाह्यनान्दश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्.
O joy of the cross, Arjuna, in this blessed path, there is a concentrated one-pointed determination. Scattered and endless are the thoughts of the irresolute or the undecided.
यामिमाम् पुष्पिताम् वाचम् प्रवदन्त्य विपश्चितः वेदवादरता पार्थ न्यान्यदस्तीति वादिनः.
Arjuna, those who are obsessed by desires, who look upon heaven as the supreme goal and argue that there is nothing beyond heaven and pleasures, and who are devoted to the letter of the Vedas, are unwise.
कामात्मानः स्वर्गपरा जन्म कर्म फलप्रदाम् क्रियाविशेषबहुलाम् भोगैश्वर्यगतिम् प्रति.
They make this type of flowery speeches recommending many acts of various kinds, for the attainment of pleasure and prosperity, and with rebirth as their motive.
भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानाम् तयापहृतचेतसाम् व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते.
Those whose minds are carried away by such flowery words, who are attracted by and attached to pleasures and prosperity, are not well established in the self, in concentration.
त्रैगुण्यविषया वेदा निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्.
The Vedas deal with three attributes of nature. You be above these three attributes, O Arjuna. Free yourself from the pairs of opposites and ever remain in the quality of sattva, goodness, freed from all thoughts of acquisition, of what you lack, and preservation, of what you have, and be established in the self.
यावानर्थ उदवाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्रह्मणस्य विजानतः.
To the Brahmana who has known the self, all the Vedas are of as much use as is a reservoir of water in a place where there is a flood.
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन ma karma phala hedurpuh ma te sangosva karmani.
Your right is to work only, but never to claim its fruits. Do not become an instrument for making your actions yield fruit, nor let your attachment be to inaction.
Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate.
Perform your actions, O Dhananjaya, Arjuna, being established in or integrated with yoga, abandoning attachment and remaining even-minded both in success and failure. This evenness of mind is called yoga.
Durena hyavaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau saranam anvicha kripana phala hetavaha.
O Arjuna, far inferior, indeed, is mere action, to action performed with evenness of mind. Seek refuge in this evenness. Wretched are they who work for results.
Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukrita duskrite tasmad yogaya yujyasva yoga karma sukausalam.
Endowed with evenness of mind, one casts off in this very life both good and evil deeds. Therefore, devote yourself to yoga. Of equanimity, skill in action lies in the practice of this yoga.
Karmajam buddhi yuktahi phalam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinilmukta padam gacchantyanāmayam.
The wise, possessed of equanimity, having abandoned the fruits of their actions and being freed from the fetters of birth, attain the state that is beyond all evil, reaches the blissful supreme state.
Yada te moha kalilam buddhir vyatidarishyadi tada gandasi nirvedam srodavyasya shutasya cha.
When your mind crosses beyond the mire of delusion, then you shall achieve indifference regarding things already heard and things yet to be heard, about enjoyments of this world or the next.
Shruti vipradipannate yadadhyasyasi nischala samadhavachala buddhi tada yogamavapsyasi.
When your mind, now perplexed by what you have heard, stands firm and steady in the self, then you will have attained yoga or self-realization.
Arjuna vacha sthita prajnasya ka bhacha samadhistasya kesava sthitati kim prabhacheda kimasida vrajeta kim.
Arjuna said, O Keshava, what is the description of him who has steady wisdom and is merged in the superconscious state? Say Madhi. How does one of steady wisdom speak? How does he sit? How does he walk?
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahadi yada kaman sarvan parthamanogadan atmanyevatmana tushta sthita prajnastadocyade.
Sri Bhagavan said, O Partha, when a man completely casts off all the desires of the mind, his self finding satisfaction in itself alone, then he is called a man of steady wisdom.
Dukkeshanudvignamanaha sukeshu vigadaspraha vidaragavaya krodhaha sthidathir muniruchyade.
He whose mind is not shaken by adversity, who does not hanker after pleasures and who is free from attachment, fear and anger, is called a sage of steady wisdom.
Yah sarvatrana visneha tattat prapya shubhashubham nabhinandadi nadveshti tasya prajna pradisthita.
He who is not attached to anything, who neither rejoices nor is vexed when he obtains good or evil, his wisdom is firmly fixed.
Yada samharade chayam kurmongani vasarvasaha indriyani indriyarthepya tasya prajna pradisthita.
When like the tortoise which withdraws its limbs on all sides, he withdraws his senses from the sense objects, then his wisdom becomes steady.
विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते.
The objects of the senses fall away from the abstinent man, but not the taste for them. But even the taste falls away when the Supreme is seen.
यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमादीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः.
The turbulent senses, O son of Kunti, do violently carry away the mind even of a wise man, though he may be striving to control them.
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीद मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Having restrained all the senses, he should sit steadfast, intent on me. His wisdom is steady whose senses are under control.
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंस सङ्गस्तेषूपजायते सङ्गात् संजायते काम कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते.
When a man thinks of objects, attachment for them arises. From attachment desire is born, from desire arises anger.
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति.
From anger comes delusion, from delusion the loss of memory, from the loss of memory the destruction of intelligence, from the destruction of intelligence he perishes.
रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति.
But the self-controlled man, moving among objects with his senses under restraint and free from both attraction and repulsion, attains peace.
प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धिपर्यवतिष्ठते.
In that serenity there is an end of all sorrow, for the intelligence of the man of serene mind soon becomes steady.
नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयतः शान्ति अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम्.
The man whose mind is not under his control has no self-knowledge, and to their unsteady no meditation is possible, and to the unmeditative there can be no peace, and to the man who has no peace how can there be any happiness?
इन्द्रियाणां हि चरतां यन्मनोनुविधीयते तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावमिवाम्भसि.
When the mind runs after the wandering senses, it carries away his discrimination, as the wind carries away a boat on the waters.
तस्माद्यस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Therefore, O mighty armed Arjuna, his wisdom is steady whose senses are completely restrained from their objects.
या दिशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी यस्यां जाग्रति भूतानि सा दिशा पश्यतो मुनेः.
In that which is night to all beings, the self-controlled man is awakened where all beings are awake, that is the night for the man who sees, has vision.
आपूज्यमानमचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमापप्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे सशान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी.
He attains peace into whom all desires enter, as the waters enter the ocean, which is full to the brim and grounded in stillness, but not the man who is the desirer of desires.
विहाय कामान्य सर्वान् पुमां शरदि निःस्पृहः निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः सशान्तिमधिगच्छति.
That man attains peace who, abandoning all desires, moves about without longing, devoid of the sense of I-ness and the mine-ness. This is the Brahmi state, O son of Pritha.
येषा ब्राह्मी स्थितिः पार्थ नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थित्वा स्यामन्दकालेऽपि brahmanirvanamrucchati.
Attaining this, none is deluded. Being established therein, even at the hour of death, one attains final liberation in Brahman.
Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavat Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sanghyayoga Nama Dvitiyodhyayaha.
Thus in the Upanishads of the glorious Bhagavad Gita, the science of the eternal, the scripture of yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, ends the second discourse entitled, Yoga of Knowledge.